Hey everybody, today we've got the top 10 Jill Stein counties in 2024. We already looked at her best states, now we're going to go through and find the individual counties. So let's get right into the countdown. Here's number 10. This is Fairfax County, Virginia. It's a pretty well-known county outside of DC. It's highlighted in red here on the map at the right. The population is substantial here. It's over 1.1 million. Now because we've got 10 counties to do, we're going to go real quick here through the demographics. In 2020, the white population was down to 47.1. Here Asian is up there at over 20%, Black 9.4, and Hispanic 17.3. It's a pretty good mix there. And the population overall has exploded over the decades here at the right. It was under 100,000 back in 1950. So let's go up here and see what happened in the last election. Well, this is an overwhelming Harris County. She got it with 65.6, Trump at 30.9. Trump did do his best here of his 3 runs. Harris did between Hillary and Biden. But this is about the vote for Jill Stein. And here on Wikipedia, they only break it down by third party. But using the data from Dave Leip's Atlas of Presidential Elections, it's technically a tie here for 10th, but Jill Stein got 1.81% of the vote, and that's just about half of this total third party vote. So right outside of DC, Jill Stein doing pretty well. Let's head to number 9. This is right next door, it's in the same state, it's Prince William County. And you can see it is pretty much just south of Fairfax. The population here also substantial, little less so than Fairfax, but it's at 482K. Now how about the demographics? White population, 38.4. Black, a little under 20. Asian, just over 10. And Hispanic at about 25. Another county in that northern Virginia region that has exploded in the recent decades. It's pretty much doubled over the past 20 years. So what does that mean for the election? Well, it's another solid Harris County. She's at 57.3, Trump 39.4. Harris did do worse than both Biden and Hillary. But what about Jill Stein? Well, of that 3.23%, again, it's another 1.81% here for Stein. Exactly the same as Fairfax. Let's keep going. Let's head to number 8. This is not super far away. This is Howard County, Maryland. The population here is 334,000. Right here on the map, you can see where the county is highlighted. It's again going to be near the DC area. Let's take a look at the demographics. Here, white is 46.7, black 19.2, Asian just under 20, and Hispanic 8.2. The population here again shows a steady growth. It was under 250,000 back in the year 2000. One other thing I encourage people to take a look at, in addition to the racial breakdown, it's going to be the household income and the education breakdown. Here in this county, it's over 103,000, so that's clearly above average. Let's go down here and see the election. Here, Harris won this very comfortably, 68.4, Trump at 27.1. Again, Harris did better than Hillary, but worse than Biden. The third party vote here is a nice 4.44. Of that percentage, Jill Stein got 1.83%, and that's good enough for number 8. Number 7 is in New Jersey. This is Middlesex County. The population here, 863,000. And here's where it's located within the state. Let's take a look at the demographics. It's 41% white, 9.8% black, 26.5% Asian. Hispanic is at 22%, and the population overall, it's been pretty much consistent growth for well over 100 years. Now down here on the election results, again, Harris won it. This is her lowest county so far. She's at 52.3, Trump 44.3. This time Harris did worse than Biden and Hillary. Third party vote here is 3.38. Jill Stein slightly bumping it up here. She got 1.91%. Time for number 6. This is in a totally different part of the country. This is in Texas. It's Collin County. Now, this one is going to be located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we've got a population here way up there. It's over 1 million. And let's take a look at the demographics. Here, the white population, about 51. Black 10, Asian 17.7, and Hispanic 16. The population overall, it's a huge explosion here. It was way under half this just back in 2000. So a gigantic boom here. So what does that mean for the election? This county was actually won by Trump. He got it by double digits, 54%. Harris 42.9. She did do a little bit better than Hillary in 16, but this is all about the third party vote. It was at 3.1. And here, Jill Stein is up to 1.93%. Now we're into the top 5, and we're going to keep it in Texas. This is Fort Bend County. Now this one is going to be in the Houston region. And the population in total is 822K. And the demographics, we've got 34% white, under 21% black, 22% Asian, and another 24% Hispanic. So another pretty solid mix there. How about in the election? It was won by Harris narrowly, 49.3, Trump 47.8. Here Harris doing her worst of the last 3 elections. But you could see before 2016, this was a long time red county. But the third party vote here was at 2.9. And here Stein is moving up. She's over 2%. She's at 2.04. Moving down to number 4. This is going to be back in Virginia. It's Loudoun County. And this is right in that same part of the state, the Nova region. It neighbors Fairfax and Prince William. The population is almost 421,000. About the demographics, white population 51.2, black is 7, Asian 21, and Hispanic 14. It's another county that has seen consistent population growth, easily doubling since 2000. Down here in the election results. Back up here for the election results. We've got Harris winning it with 56.3, Trump 40.1. This was a red county up until 2008. Then Obama flipped it, and now it's considered a blue county. That's what's happened in a lot of those Northern Virginia suburbs outside of D.C. They used to be red, now they're blue. The third party vote here is 3.6. And for Jill Stein, she's up another 100th of a point. She's at 2.05. Down to number 3, we're going to go all the way to the West Coast into California. This is Alameda County. This is where Oakland is. Population is way up there at over 1.6 million. It's not a huge county, but you can still see it highlighted right here in red. Now, everybody wants to know the demographics. Well, we've got a white population at 28%, black 9.5%, Asian 32%. Hispanic, 23. Overall, this population has recently started to see a bit of a dip, but it's still been over 1 million since 1970. Now let's go up here and take a look at the election. This one is going to be blue for a long time, going all the way back through 1960. In the last election, Harris won it with a landslide, 74.6. That is worse than both Biden and Hillary. Trump only at 21 though. Third party vote is 4.41. And here Jill Stein is at 2.08%. Still got 2 more counties where she did even better. And for number 2, we're going to go back to New Jersey. This is Passaic County. Now, this does not border Middlesex County, the other one we took a look at, but it does border New York State, which is to the north. Here, the population is 524,000. And you know we're going to those demographics next. The white population is 38.8, black just under 10, Asian 5.7. And here, Hispanic is up there at 42.7. The overall population, it's mostly been small growth over the last handful of decades. And next up, of course, we're going to take a look at the election. Now, this county is notable because Trump actually won it with a plurality of 49.7, Harris at 46.8. The previous Republican to win this was George H.W. Bush in 1992. Obama won this with 60% in 2008. So this was red, then it got pretty blue, now it's back to kind of even. The third party vote here was 3.56. And for Jill Stein's second best county, she managed to get 2.81%. There's one more county where Jill Stein did her absolute best. It's going to be in a new state. It may or may not surprise you, but this is in Michigan. It's Wayne County. Now, the population here is actually the most out of any of the other counties. It's almost 1.8 million. If you're not familiar where this county is located, it's in the southeastern part of the state. It's home of Detroit, as well as a bunch of its suburbs, including Dearborn. Now, if we go up here and then take a look at the demographics, we've got white at 48%, black over 37, Asian 3.5, and Hispanic 6.5. Now this county has seen population loss. It's actually gone down for the past 50 straight years. And you don't see this too often, but in 1970, the change in population was 0.0%. That's pretty consistent. So most people know that the Detroit area has suffered major population losses over the past half century plus. But what does that do for the election? Well, it's still clearly going to Harris. She's at 62.5, Trump 33.6. They haven't voted for a Republican in almost 100 years, going all the way back through 1932. But this county is known for having a lot of population and a big shift toward Trump in the last election. It might not seem like much, but Harris declined almost 6%. Meanwhile, Trump went up more than 3. That amounts to a pretty seismic shift. But as far as third-party votes go, they're at 3.89 here. And Jill Stein, this is her single best county, and she managed to get 2.38% of it. So that is the top of the mountain for Stein. And if we put it all together and take a look at the final map, we do have a pretty good mix here. We've got the 1 in California, we've got a couple in Texas, 1 in Michigan, 2 in New Jersey, 1 in Maryland, and then 3 in Northern Virginia. And in the previous video I made showing Stein's best state, number 1 was Maryland. Now that state only had 1 county on here, but that DC metro area is clearly where Stein did her best. 3 of those counties happen to be on the Virginia side, but that's where her strongest support was. Now she wasn't on the ballot in every state, but she was on in more than 40, and most of these percentages are very small. Nationally, she got only about 0.56%, but still, relatively speaking, her absolute best county is again Wayne County, Michigan. And if you break down the demographics in a lot of these counties, there is a pretty significant racial mix. A lot of them also do have a lot of Asian voters. That could also be a factor for her in Dearborn, Michigan, which is in Wayne County. Stein, known for being that progressive candidate, she may have gotten some voters to turn out for her that are motivated by what's happening with the Israel-Palestine situation. Other than that, most of these counties were consistently gaining population, but a couple of them were going in the other direction. A little bit in Alameda and a lot in Wayne. And I also encourage people to take a look at other demographic information aside from race. Education, household income, those are also key metrics. And in terms of the 2 major political parties, Harris won 8 of these, usually extremely comfortably. Trump did carry 2 of them, notably flipping Passaic County, New Jersey. So even though turnout seemed to be down for Harris, those voters didn't really seem to flock toward Stein. A couple might have went toward Trump or some other third-party candidates, but a lot of them probably just stayed home. There's a lot of different reasons that might go into why someone voted for one candidate or another, or decided not to vote altogether. Either way, these are the 10 best counties for Jill Stein in 2024. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about any of these 10 counties? What do you think most or all of them have in common? Is it race? Is it income? Is it something else? And what about the politics of these counties between Trump and Harris? How does Jill Stein factor into any of it? And how do you compare how well she did here to what she did in 2016? Let me know what you think down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.